changing my vocation and effectively starting from scratch again was pretty daunting. And what I did was, I guess, think laterally about the skills that I'd acquired up till then, and thinking about how I could use those in my new career, which I guess gave me confidence and reassurance that I'd made the right decision.
I think the biggest challenge is always juggling home and work life because there's always going to be clashes, and it's about recognising what are the non-negotiables. So what are the important for both work and for personal, and accepting that you can't do everything.
Okay, so one of the biggest challenges that I faced was career opportunities in this field, but by joining Novigi, actually I could overcome that, because Novigi really has a better vision and caring for its co-workers.
I faced a number of challenges in my career as a woman. Firstly, being automatically seen as less intelligent than men because I'm a female. I've also felt like I do get more emotionally the tricky situations, but I've learnt to just show people that I am capable and to be myself.
I personally believe that the who you know and not what you know, not purposely, but it's a very male-driven culture. It's just left over from a time when women weren't as prevalent in the business world, so now more men on average are in higher authority positions. So I've seen firsthand how this culture can win you opportunities when you know the men who are in positions of authority, or you know someone who knows them, but you can also struggle to get a chance or a first go when you don't have any mutual contacts with any of those men.
Can I say that my mother has always been my role model, because she works as well. She's a teacher, so I have seen her manage her personal life and her work life very well.
Given that I've spent probably the majority of my career in the super industry, it'd have to be other females in that industry. It's really inspiring to see more and more females moving into C-suite roles. I won't call out any specific individuals, but there's several of them I've been following their careers, and they've basically taught me that anything's possible.
My husband pops up to my mind because he's very supportive and very understanding, and yes, he's a very positive person. So even if I get stressed out at work and negative about anything, he be very positive and cheers me up.
Probably one of my first managers, and he was actually gay, and he taught me to embrace who you are and be who you are, and that's the best that you can do when you're at work.
My mum is my mentor. She took time out to have children and derailed her career quite a lot. She switched it up a number of times, and eventually she's found her place. She works in a fairly high position and works insanely hard and stresses herself out a lot, but she's made herself indispensable in her job. I admire her perseverance, her intelligence, and the fact that she can work so hard and still care for us so much.
Probably previous lecturers have been good role models. Just showing, I guess, what you can do when you work pretty hard. I think also I did have a mentor briefly when I was studying at RMIT, where I was able to ask her, get some insight from her on what sort of roles are available in IT and what sort of typical work you'd end up doing, and I guess what it's like also working as a woman in IT. So.
Always do what you love. So you're going to be working for a very long time. So it's really important that whatever you decide to do, that you love it.
Do not force yourself to do something that you're not interested. or feel worth. So just follow what your heart says.
It will be hard, but it will be fine.
Don't be afraid to try anything, even if you don't feel qualified for it. So if you're given a task or an opportunity, take it with both hands and just give it a go.
And yeah, I think I've got a good opportunity here. I think I'm lucky to be here actually, with women who support each other and who understand each other. Yeah, I think that's what I've seen, like, the most impressive thing about Novigi.
The VGs have not made me feel at any point that gender is a disadvantage. They've made me feel like the sky's the limit and that I can do anything, that we can do anything as a team.
So like we have flexible hours, even we have that facility to work from home whenever we need. So it's a very flexible place to work with a very good environment, especially for a girl.
Novigi is very good with flexibility, so how you work and where you work, and it's not just about for females, it's for everyone. So there's a lot of fathers as well who are able to adapt and do what they need to do to support their family.
Well, Novigi's been amazing. Obviously, I came in as a partner and moved straight onto the executive team. So they've been very supportive, and I feel like now I have a great opportunity to do the same for other Novigi female employees. If there is such a thing as balance, I think it's establishing really strong networks around you, whether that's family, friends, or other work colleagues. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help when you need it. And also just making sure that you have a bit of personal time, even if it's 15 minutes a day, to quieten your brain down and do some exercise.
Planning. So I have a family of 6, so it's always really important that everything is planned, whether it be the day, the week, or anything, so we all know what's going on, and then you can actually be more spontaneous and react when you need to.
Definitely tried, giving time to actually do personal things and not just working all the time. I know particularly when you're working from home, it can be quite easy to think, I'll just work a little bit longer, that's okay. So
definitely empathy, the ability to influence people, and self-awareness, I think, are very, very important characteristics to be a successful leader.
They should be a role model for us, and also they should push people to do their best, and also they should focus on helping the team members.
Person who can really listen to others, but then can actually be decisive and make the decisions that they need to make, and also someone who isn't afraid of supporting and promoting and praising others.
A good communicator, to communicate and to respond to issues in the workplace and with employees, and the leader has to be a good influencer.
In my opinion, anyone can be a leader. Even someone who you least expect could be a leader. If there's a project or a team that I believe I can make a meaningful contribution to and bring knowledge to, then I'm more than willing to take the lead on it. But conversely, I think a true leader also knows when it's time to allow someone who may be more expert on the topic or bring strength to the team, then they know when to sort of relinquish the lead and learn a lot from them as well.
I do actually, because I want to be a leader someday, to influence women, every woman, to support, to tell them that it's okay.
Yeah, I think I do consider myself a leader. I feel like I've got a great amount of knowledge that I can and would like to share with other people, particularly younger people or people starting out in their career.
Everyone is actually a leader. So even my 5-year-old in the playground is a leader. It's more about whether or not you're a good leader. And I think that's the important distinction. And that's how a person reacts and how willing they are to support other people.
The institutional mindsets and how people think of women, and I think it's a huge barrier, like for us to go into higher management positions. Like it actually obstructs, like it makes hard for us to go to higher positions, and mostly stereotypes. It's what needs to be changed.
So I want to challenge gender barriers in the workplace. I think there's a lot of bias in recruitment processes, lack of flexibility, career progression.
I think it's the negative stereotypes and social norms and the way people place limits on others because of their gender, their race, their sexual preference, and so on. I think everyone has a different approach to how they do things. And because of that, that's how you actually, we should embrace that. And these differences are what drives innovation and change.
I know how difficult that getting your first start can be in any industry that you want to enter into. So I aspire to be able to share the professional knowledge and experience that I'm gaining of the workplace to help young women who may be graduating or leaving high school or in that phase of their life. I want to help them get their chance to enter the industry that they're passionate about as well.
I want to challenge the barriers that women face in providing their own stability. While I recognise that things can't change overnight, I have the ability to educate myself and those around me to think about a stable financial future.
So I would like to challenge the barriers that women face by standing up against body shaming. So I think every body shape is beautiful. So I would encourage everyone not to criticize or mock or judge any woman according to their appearance. It's all about the personality and the skills.
The glass ceiling, it's like that invisible barrier that like restricts or makes it hard for women to go up in the ladder. And I think that needs to be changed, especially as I told you, the stereotypes, and those are the same thing. I think that's what I'm most worried about. That's what needs to be changed, and we as women can do that, but it's really difficult to change the mindsets of people. So I think we should focus on that, like how to do it.
So I think organisations need to work on building awareness around societal norms and unconscious bias. I don't think we'll ever remove those things completely, but I think if people are aware of them, then they can take these into account in their decision-making processes.
I think there definitely needs to be more financial support and education for young women. We should learn about investments and superannuation and the industries that support us better. I think it's currently the women that do think about those things are either older or they've come from families that do that. I think it's getting better. There's a lot of podcasts and education coming out. I think it's just awareness and education and support.
I think it's around supporting them and recruiting and in the workplace, just being there and accepting that people are different and embracing it and making sure that you use that to further the organisation, but also the individual's career.
This probably relates to the previous question, but it's around really being aware of how you make decisions and making sure that those sort of unconscious biases aren't coming into your decision-making process. Treat all people equal and give them the same opportunity.
To have a huge role in this, because they themselves could actually change the mindsets, like that actually has like the stereotypes. I think they can make a big difference, because we women as girls can do like a lot of things, but they like men has to be supported.
I think everyone, not just men, can support other women and women in achieving equality in the workplace and beyond that by recognising our own individual privileges in our daily interactions. So whether that's because of our ethnicity or our financial status or our family background, we can all do our part to make the workplace actively a more inclusive and equitable place to empower women to achieve their full potentials, regardless of their background as well.
The simplest and easiest thing is for during recruitment and how people recruit. People are renowned for recruiting people like themselves who have the same behaviours, the same background. So bringing in that diversity will actually make a huge change.